This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
What's going on, everybody? We have a special guest coming in, and he happens to be the biggest troll in the 49ers community. Please welcome the Ramilia Sports Report. We got Rudy in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, CG? And everyone, sorry for the delay. I was getting here from work, and everyone and their grandma was in my way. So thank you. I'm glad I made it, and props to my guy, CG Ruthless Sports.
Yeah, man. Must have been that rush hour traffic, I guess.
Well, I had to stop off real quick, and then that was the messed up because I got the train, I got everything. But I'm sorry. I was like, hurry up. But I'm here, and we're ready to go, baby. We're ready to go, like McVay and Ben Skronik.
Oh, speaking of that, man. But, hey, this is the 49ers and Rams week, man. This is the most – I think it's better than the Bears and Packers division-wise. You know, I think the Niners and Rams don't get enough recognition for how tough of a division it could be.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because these two teams have both been to the Super Bowl recently. The Bears have not, and also they're explosive normally, and they have stars on both sides of the ball. And the other teams, except for the Packers with the diva Aaron Rodgers, he turns into Jared Goff in the playoffs, so he hasn't really been seen in the playoffs. But yeah, our matchup is the best in football now that Ray Lewis and everyone's retired with the Ravens and the Steelers.
Oh, it's better than the Niners and Seahawks for sure. When you see the Niners and Rams, it doesn't become as ugly. It becomes very competitive. It comes down to the wire. It just brings excitement. It makes people want to tune in for a tough football team.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, man. So speaking of a guy, man, the original LA Rams fan, those guys they don't come around often, but hey, your team got the Super Bowl, and that's what matters, right? Like they say, the champ is here.
The champ is here. Actually, hold on. I got the wrong picture up. Hold on. Sorry. I was messing with my phone. There we go. Yeah, man. I've been a Ram fan since 1979 as a kid. We've had the lean years with the Tony Banks, and my team left from LA area, or Anaheim, actually, technically, to St. Louis. And I stayed a Ram fan. It was always loyalty over location. And now they're back in Los Angeles. And within 6 years, we're Super Bowl champs, baby. So this is a golden era of Rams football. We have the same amount of championships as the greatest show on turf. And we're ready to win some more. If not this year, then the year after, or maybe the year after, because this core group is going to be together for the next couple of years. We have a shot to throw our hat in the ring. And I'm really excited about how it all unfolds.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. A lot of people in the building. Grand Desert, to answer your question, there's 2 more Rams like on Monday that I got. I got Rams House TV coming up on the pre-games, and then I got Jake Alabogan, which I'm going to have. But yeah, hello to those Ramilias, and hello to the entire faithfuls. You know, I don't get the term Ramilia, but you kind of like said the term for quite a while. You were part of the original that came up with the words.
Well, it's like, like for instance, the Niners say Niner family, Niner fam, right? Yeah. Well, you take away the F and you put Ramilia. So that's Rams and family. And so you add them together. Some people say Ramley. I say Ramilia. That stands for Ram family. It's
a Spanish word. It's kind of like a Spanish word when you say
it's kind of Yeah, or like when you go to and you would know my guy CG, my guy aka Miklo from Blood In Blood Out.
Oh yeah,
He's everyone. He's Latino, or are you Mexican? Are Mexican American?
yeah.
There you go. A lot of people don't realize that. So God bless him. And but yeah, so it's Ramilia. Some people say Ramilia. You know, I'm more Ramilia. You know, like familia for you know, Italian and Latin words. So that's what it is. Ramilia Sports Report.
Yeah. So a lot of the throwbacks with the Rams, but this is the interesting week, man. This is not going to be some ugly game. This is going to be a competitive game. This is going to be a team that wants it more. I know it's kind of been like in those last meetings in the regular season, it's been frustrating, but you got over the hump in the playoffs, and that's what matters.
Yeah, man. Golly, you guys have been a thorn in our side, man. Imagine everyone in the NFC West has been rolled over when the Rams come to town. The Seahawks with Russell Wilson, we roll out of bed and we'd beat them. You guys had a problem with them. The Arizona Cardinals here and there have got you guys, but basically McVay's 7-1 versus them. If it wasn't for the Niners, you know, standing up for themselves, we would just run roughshod over the NFC West. I mean, the other teams we just roll over. The Niners have been a thorn in our side, and that's why the rivalry comes, because for a long time, listen, the Niners beat us in the Tony Banks era when the woman who should be nameless and moved the team to St. Louis, so she ran the team into the ground. The Niners beat us 17 times in a row because those were some horrible teams that she basically ran the team in the ground. Before that, the Rams had beaten the Niners before Bill Walsh and all that. Something like 22 out of 25 times. The Rams owned the division for many decades. But yeah, so it's amazing the way the rivalry, if you really look at it, amazing history between the two teams.
Yeah, these two teams go way back in the 50s or so on, but they have met so many times. The overall record is 75-68-3.
Mm-hmm.
So the Niners actually have the 75 wins, and the Rams had the
and that's why I mentioned the 17 losses in a row. Imagine if it wasn't that. They got 17 wins in a row, and they're still only like 8 games ahead. That shows you the dominance the Rams had over the Niners for many decades before Bill Walsh got there. So there's a lot of Rams that never ever lost to the Niners. You know, Jack Snow, maybe Roman Gabriel. A lot of those guys never lost to the Niners before Bill Walsh came to town, and you know, that's history. But yeah, so 17 times in a row, and it's only like a 7 or 8 game lead. And but amazing. Even last year, look at the teams were you know, we kill each other.
Yeah, and there's like a rivalry. It's just the mutual, you know, the hate is mutual between Aaron Donald and the entire team. Like, you know, you got a lot of players. That's how the rivalry should be, man. Like, I don't think it's nothing personal with them hating the team. They just can't stand one another, you know?
Yeah, it's like game recognizes game. It's like Kobe Bryant. Rams mentality, Kobe 49er mentality. You know, I could be your friend after I beat you. That's
what it sounds like. Yeah,
that's basically what it is, you know. And the Niners have had our number, and it's just amazing because the teams match up perfectly on the Niners side because the Rams defense was keep it in front of you, don't let them throw it deep. Well, they don't throw it deep with Jimmy, so we're kind of playing into their hands. And then we finally found out the game before last year, we have to get physical with them. We have to put guys in the box and make Jimmy beat us. And so, you know, it's amazing the way the teams go, but we play differently against other teams because of the personnel. So, but yeah, man, it's a fierce rivalry. I remember back in the days with Joe Montana and Steve Young. It was crazy, man. Kevin Green, the Hall of Famer, who finished with the Steelers, one-time sacked. Yeah, rest in peace. He sacked Joe Montana 4 times in the 1988 playoff game for us to make the playoffs. We went into Candlestick Park. We needed to win, and we beat him like 31-10 or 31-17. Jim Everett threw like 4 touchdown passes, and Kevin Green got 4 sacks at San Francisco. It was a fierce rivalry, and he called it out. I'm coming after him today. Right? He was saying that. And so amazing history, man. Amazing teams, Deion Sanders, Charles Haley, Ronnie Lott. On our side, Kevin Green, Leroy Irvin, Jerry Gray, through the years. Amazing, man. Amazing.
Oh yeah. And you include the McDonald's because Tim played for
Tim the Neck McDonald.
And his son played for the Rams too.
No, Merton Hanks. Merton Hanks, the neck is the neck, right? Merton Hanks. Yeah.
The chicken. They call him what is it?
Yeah.
He does a chicken neck dance. But Tim McDonald was a tackling machine. This this is what stands out about most of these people who keep calling us the fakest fan, but none of the realistic fans would not know who this guy is unless they actually follow the team history, man.
Yeah.
Like these newbies wouldn't know who the hell number 46 was. I'll tell you what, this guy was a baller. This guy was the most underrated player. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but he played at USC. He was a tackle.
Check this out, CG. So we know about Ray Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about London Fletcher?
Oh, that dude was a tackling machine. He started off with the Rams.
Did you know that he won a Super Bowl just like Ray Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ray Lewis has like 9 more Pro Bowls. The only thing that separates them is like a couple of interceptions, the very similar stats, and he's not in the Hall of Fame, but Ray Lewis is because he's a name. Amazing when you look at it. Same thing with Steven Jackson. Torrey Holt can't get in. Hopefully he'll get in soon. Like you said, it's certain guys should be in there, and then you're like, how did that guy make it? But yeah, I didn't know that about my guy London Fletcher. I knew he was good, but then they had the stats and very minimal differences. But he also didn't get the Pro Bowl love that Ray Lewis did. He's missing like 8 Pro Bowls, and they have similar stats throughout their career. Amazing.
He played the longest too, and he was like, he was a 5'9" linebacker, very consistent too. Like he played for besides the Rams, he played for some good teams like Buffalo. Yeah, and then he played for the Washington before they became the Commanders. But
he was a baller, man.
You look at the history of the Niners and Rams, like the Monday Night Football. They played. This is the 15th time they've met each other, and the last time that the Rams actually won a Monday Night Football against the Niners. This may sound crazy, 20 years ago.
Was it Eric Dickerson, 1980 something probably? No. Vince Ferragamo. Well, when was it? Do you remember?
No, it was when you guys.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago when Mike Martz was the head coach.
Yeah.
Corey Holt,
that's right.
And Isaac Bruce and
That's right. Yeah, because I couldn't remember if they even gave us Monday Night Footballs. Yes, they did because I remember a few of them. But that's right. I was thinking back in the day.
Majority, like the last ones we played, man, it's been mostly us dominating you guys, but the last one you guys beat us was in 2002.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like those were the days, but then you were getting intrigued by what Mike Martz said about Trey Lance and the rest of the stuff, man. But weren't you kind of like, would you call him a quarterback guru, even though he picked Mark Bojo over Kurt Warner?
Well, I like I said before, I think that Kyle Shanahan reminds me of Norv Turner and Mike Martz.
Marty Schottenheimer.
Well, the playoff record, yeah, but Mike, because they were offensive guys, you know. But Dick Vermeil had to rein him in so many times. He'd get off the cuff, like we'd be at the 5-yard line of the other team in the red zone, and he'd run like an end around. Like, what are you doing? Just give the ball to Marshall Faulk. Right. There was a play where when we beat the Eagles in the championship game, he left Kurt Warner out there because he was working on some plays for the next game, and he got blown up. So when we played that Super Bowl versus the Patriots in 2001, Kurt Warner had to have a flap jacket because he was protecting his ribs, and he got creamed when he should have been out of the game. And then Mike Martz had the audacity to say, "Oh, I forgot he was still out there." Wow. So but yeah, I love Mike Martz because we won the Super Bowl with him, but we left a couple of rings on the table for sure.
I mean, you guys had an entire good roster. Your defense was outstanding. You guys had an offense. Warner was just one of those great fairy tales, man. And it's a movie.
Yeah. American Underdog. Amazing. And they could do American Underdog too with Matthew Stafford because his wife went through trials and tribulations with some kind of brain surgery. And so they went through that, and they're God-fearing people. And then Matthew Stafford's career in Detroit. And then now look at him. He went 4-0 in the playoffs, won the Super Bowl. And in Los Angeles, it's like a storybook ending. He's still going, though. So they can do American Underdog too, the Matthew Stafford story soon. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll have a couple more rings on his finger.
Well, wouldn't it be kind of like an interesting story of having Jimmy Garoppolo's story where he was just coming to this offseason not even being the guy and then just doesn't even have an entire offseason to learn the playbook and all that stuff. And then that would be kind of like what is it, Any Given Sunday or those kind of moves replacements?
Poor Jimmy Garoppolo. I kind of like this Jimmy, the Jimmy with the chip on his shoulder saying allegedly these plays suck. And then Kyle Shanahan, you're gonna have to ask him. And then Jimmy acts like, and he's touching his neck, he's touching the side of his cheek, he's touching his ear, like when you have somebody in the spot and they don't really want to say it. Well, I don't know what I said. He said that. I don't know what I said. You have to read lips. He said I can't read lips. We're talking about you, not you reading somebody else's lips. He couldn't say it, but yeah, man. He's like, okay, Kyle, you need me now, right? Because he had him on the sidelines throwing while Trey was getting all the reps. They were trying to trade Jimmy, and then all of a sudden, hey, Jimmy, do you want to go again? Do you want to be our backup? So
some of them would have just walked out and say, "Hell no, I'm out of here."
To his, that shows you that he's the ultimate teammate, because if it was me, I'd be like, man, get out of here, dude. Just give me my walking papers, right?
And I'll
because yeah, I mean, but to his credit, maybe he saw something in Trey, or maybe he thought that he would get this chance again. I don't know. So the only one that's coming out as a genius right now is Jimmy Garoppolo, because if he plays the way he's supposed to, which he hasn't, it's a long season still, he can make it into a big contract.
Yeah.
If he shows he can stay healthy. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, Ms. Bergane, shout out to the BGN Sports Media. Be sure to check out the network and my boy Bergane 31 for hitting that 5K. But yeah, dude, it's kind of like one of those intriguing stories, man. It's like, dude, this is just like, you don't make up stories like this, bro. Like, who goes into the offseason not even being allowed to be in the team's facility? I mean,
I don't understand, like, and they got mad at him apparently because he did the surgery late, which is his body. It's up, you guys weren't even planning on keeping him. Why do you care, right? He can do what he wants now, right? Well, he didn't get his surgery fast enough, so now we can't trade him. Well, that's your problem. He's doing but he's been a good guy. He's helped Trey Lance. Trey Lance calls him a brother. It's just unfortunate that a lot of fans jump on him because he's been he even took a pay cut to come back. Right, I mean, you guys would be looking at Mr. Irrelevant as a backup quarterback. That's what Kyle Shanahan had under his sleeve for you guys.
State, bro. He's from Iowa State too, and he's like another McMullins.
So, but imagine if Jimmy wasn't there, you'd have the Mr. Irrelevant as the starting quarterback right now,
or Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah, or Sudfeld. So Jimmy has saved Kyle's bacon many times, and we'll see what happens. I know he's a thorn in our side. And what's funny is, he has like 5 touchdowns and 9 interceptions against us, and he's got all the wins, except for the one.
Yeah, except for the one. That's where you guys have something to prove right there. But, well, looking at the Rams injury report, I'm hearing that you guys have two of your offensive line rolled out for this game. I'm looking at your starting guard.
We lost another guy too, concussion protocol. And that was important because he was making headway for our running game now. And we're going to be missing him now, too. It sucks. Yeah. But next man up, David Edwards.
Oh, David Edwards? That's another guy you're going to have in. And then you have...
No, he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone.
Okay, so Bobby Evans is the guy from Oklahoma that you guys have as your backup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, we just met next man up, like you say. We have to just, this is good experience for him. Unfortunately, we have to play two of the top defenses in the league right off the bat in the first 4 games, in the Bills and the Niners, while we lick our wounds. So it is what it is, Hey, if you're the champions, everyone's coming for you.
You got a target on your back.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we'll see what happens. It's good experience for the young guys. I really like our young secondary. You guys have some young guys too. I really like Burford, one of your tackles. I really like him. They're just young, like us. We have young guys. Yeah, we have young guys. You guys have young guys. They just need some reps. They need to get punched in the mouth a couple times and get their technique down and get used to the speed of the game, and they'll be fine. That's it.
Yeah, speaking of Burford, man, he was one of my guests. Like a month before the draft. This is
I thought I saw them. I couldn't remember if it was actually him. That's awesome.
That was him. That was the guy from that small college, Texas San Antonio.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I like him. I like his size. He's got a lot of upside.
Yeah, he can run block too. And then we just got Aaron Banks going in as a starter to replace Tomlinson, which is a tough task.
Yeah.
Brendo is kind of an unproven commodity. It's like, we'll see, but Breadskill's cleared to play, so maybe we get to see some of that battle. We'll see about that. But I'm hearing that you have your other interior line playing, which is the guy that you guys had from Iowa, whatever his name is, Alaric Jackson or something.
Alaric Jackson, yeah, he's a big body. Before our guy Edwards got out, we had some beef on the right side. So now we're having to slide some guys over. Coleman Shelton's been playing good at moving over. For Havenstein, we replaced him for a few series, and they look pretty good. This actual backup lineup that we had against the Falcons looked pretty good, and we actually made some holes. And then with Ben Skronik being fullback, he's blasting people and also catching balls out of the backfield, so it adds a new wrinkle. So it makes teams have to pay when they think they're we're gonna run. No, we're not. He's actually going out. So it's pretty neat that McVay's going into his bag.
Yeah, McVay's trying to kind of be more creative. Like, what's very interesting about this Rams offense is they were using Cooper Kupp in that similar fashion like they did with Debo on those run plays.
Yeah, because like him and Kyle Shanahan, they know X's and O's inside and out. And unfortunately, there's different personnel, so that certain things work with us. I mean, Cooper Kupp is a little light in the pants compared to Debo. Debo's got power and the speed. So with Cooper Kupp, we can do a lot of stuff with him, but we got to be careful because we don't want him to get hurt on a dumb play that we're trying to be cute with. So, but the guy's a beast, man. Cooper Kupp, he'll knock you on your ass. He blocks. He's the guy's just we're just so lucky to have this guy, man. He's a godsend. Imagine I think he was a second round pick. Cooper Kupp, second or third round pick.
No, he was a third round pick from Eastern Washington, like a few years back. But he was coming like a few years ago. He was coming off an ACL injury, which is hard to overcome. But
and it sucks, CG, because look what he's doing now. Not saying that he would have been that guy, but we were missing this guy in the Patriots Super Bowl that we lost 3-. I mean, imagine he would have been moving the chains. We maybe would have scored a couple times, probably won that one, but that's all spilled milk already. But that's a major cog that we didn't have. And then here we go again last year. We're out of Robert Woods. Robert Woods is gone. We had to replace him. So we're like, damn, every time we get this team loaded, somebody goes out. So, but we had to overcome it. So that's a magical season last year, man. We went through a lot of injuries and we came out on top. Everyone needs a break. We got some breaks here and there, but when we got Stafford, the reason why we got him to make those plays with Kupp at the end. And, he throws a lot of picks, but he also can kill you. And so, it's amazing the way it works, man. I'm just glad that you guys did get Stafford, man, because I would have been pissed off. You guys would have been the Super Bowl champions, and you guys would have had Mac Jones, probably his backup, and you guys probably would have drafted Kyle Pitts and traded Kittle and get a couple of draft picks.
We're thinking too ahead of the game a little bit.
That's what I would have did. I would have signed Stafford. I would have stayed pat if Mac Jones is there, whoever's there. I would have drafted them, put them behind Stafford. I would have traded Kittle because he's always hurt, and I would have got Kyle Pitts and put him in tight end. But I'm glad you guys didn't do that.
No, I mean, Kittle's still a piece.
No, I love Kittle, but he's older. He's getting injured. Kyle Pitts. Who would you rather have, Kittle or Kyle Pitts right now?
Well, Kyle Pitts is younger, so he'll get better with no time.
Yeah, but I love my guy Kittle. Don't get me wrong. I love him.
Yeah, it's just
he's a beast.
There's not that many who can do it all. It's like, but here's the one headline that's going on right now. Since Grandizer just put it in the comments, what do you think of the return of Bobby Turner, man? I seen you kind of threw some reference at Bobby Turner.
Yeah, so Bobby Turner, the running back guru, my guy G12. Oh yeah, big boy. We have a reference from Boarding News to LA. I don't know if you've seen that movie, CG, with when he's in the cell and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, big boy, I like your pants." We go back and forth on my stream means and G12. But okay, so Bobby Turner, I was making a reference to Waterboy, like maybe McDaniels, because McDaniels opened his mouth and started everything saying that, oh, I used to build the place for Kyle and just give him to him. When we're all like, Kyle is a genius, right? Well, not me, but a lot of players would say that. A lot of content creators, and then he's saying, well, no, I used to. He gave me that job. I used to break it down the plays, and I just hand it to him. And then the same thing. Joe Staley said the same thing, that Kyle did what he does, but McDaniels was the guy that broke down those plays and wrote them up for him, and then he just ran them. And I'm like, wow, they're saying that? And that's not even big news in Santa Clara. That's amazing. So I was saying, hey, Grant, unfortunately, McDaniels took his playbook with him to Miami. So you got Kyle like the water boy over here trying with no plays.
Well, Coach Klein, are we going?
Yeah, Coach Klein, and because he looks very vanilla now. The plays,
yeah.
but on Kyle's side, you go from having this young kid and you're trying to go into your book and get all these aggressive plays, and now you're back to vanilla with vanilla Jimmy. So, there's only so much you can do because you're looking at Brock Purdy behind him if he gets hurt. So you got to be careful too. So he's in a tough situation, but I'm all in it, man. I have to let him have it because, I'm having a good time right now with Kyle Shanahan struggling and Jimmy G saying these plays suck. I got to wear a shirt like that to say these plays suck when you guys come to SoFi Stadium and have Jimmy on it.
Yeah, but from what Granddad's is looking at the schedule, well, it depends on how we play, bro. I don't know if we have a better chance to go with the schedule, but there's going to be tough schedules down the stretch after we play the Panthers and Falcons. The next ones are going to be tougher. So,
well, luckily for both of our teams, we're licking our wounds. We have our offensive Trent Williams, man. That's a huge loss for you guys because that guy is amazing. But then also too, see Trent Williams and then Mac. Mac as center was like kind of like a coach on the field, the signal caller, and he's a veteran. And then you have Tomlin too. So two guys right there, boom, boom. And that then
hard to
Trent. It's hard to fill that, so it's going to take time. You don't replace guys like that.
No, they take time to gel.
You get the gel and you get cohesiveness, and then guess what? You start playing, you start scheming stuff because you know that you have a few seconds to now do stuff. But when the guys are trying to learn a new position, trying to learn each other, trust each other, they're not stepping on each other's feet when they backpedal. Stuff like that's important. But luckily for the NFC West, though, luckily that we're in the NFC West, where Wilson's gone. The Cardinals are the Cardinals right now. They're without D-Hop. We beat them, so we set them back. We have time to lick our wounds and put the W's on the board, and we can struggle and still be close to the top of the record-wise. So we'll both be fine. We just have to make sure that we don't have major injuries, like say Debo goes down for you guys, or say Stafford goes down or Kupp goes down. Then we're screwed.
It's a tough
right
one.
there.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, but what is the most improvement that you want to see the Niners out of the offense? I just want to see I want to see Jimmy become more of a better passer. I mean, that's been his biggest problem, because when you play opposing defense, they take away the running game. It's going to be on Jimmy's hands to step up, and that's been the problem. Like, I want Jimmy to at least be able to have some of those games, like that Saints game he had. That was the game where he actually won a shootout with Drew Brees. I want to see the game where he actually had the most statistics against the Cardinals. I want to see Jimmy put up some numbers for once. Like, in case our running game isn't working, I want Jimmy to step it up. That's what I want to see. Yep.
You guys are having the same struggles we did with golf. When we got rid of Cooks and Gurley was gone, he didn't have as much time. He didn't have the confidence that he wouldn't go down the field. That's how our offense looked.
Here's a good one by Corey Davis. He probably wants to just rub it to you a little bit, man.
Corey Davis, what's up, brother? Let's see. Ramilia, how did you feel when the Niners when the 49ers beat us with Nick Mullins? Man, I couldn't believe you guys did beat us with Nick Mullins. That's like one of our backups beating you guys with Trey Lance. And Trey Lance is a good quarterback, when he's got a year under his belt. But the two teams, it's not just the quarterbacks. The reason why we lost those games is because Sulla had Jared Goff in a pickle, and he was just he would confuse him, and we couldn't do anything. And but one thing I want everyone to remember, as Ram fans, we look at the series differently than maybe Niner fans. The 6 games in a row thing, okay, but Matthew Stafford wasn't there for half of them. 3 of the games were decided by 3 points or less. As a Ram fan, we look at it like this, except for that debacle in Santa Clara last year when Woods had just got hurt 2 days before. OBJ didn't know any of the plays. Von Miller was hurt more than we thought. You guys ran all over us because they were double teaming Kupp. There was nobody else stepping up. You did what you should. God bless you. The game after that we took a 17-point lead on you guys. We probably should have won that game. We had the game with a minute something left, and McVay wasn't even going for a first down. He thought he had Jared Goff still as quarterback. Didn't even try to get a first down. Gave you guys the ball. You guys tied it to your credit and then beat us in overtime. But we feel that we should have won that game, right? So there's one. That was a close game. Then we beat you guys in the championship game. So we feel that the last 3 games, we should have won 2 of the 3 games. That's how we feel about it. So that's why when Niners say, "Oh, we beat them 6-9," well, wait a minute. You guys beat us in Santa Clara real good that first game, but the last two, both of us had a chance to win.
Close.
It could have went either way, right? So that's how we look at it now. And but Stafford does have to take care of the ball more. And but the whole thing is our running game. If our running game isn't going, he's going to try to fit the ball in there, and it can get tipped up, or a guy turns the wrong way. It is what it is. So we have the Go ahead.
So what's more concerning for the Rams since we're going into Monday night? Like, what's something that you want the Rams to fix the most against the Niners?
So we just need to score against you guys. Like, we appreciate you guys, your defense, right? You guys have a great defense, but we've seen great defenses before, and we scored on them. I mean, we scored against Tampa Bay. They've had a great defense in different ways, better than you guys, and you guys are better than them. We just need to play our game. When we got out to that 17-point lead the game before last, the championship game, I was like, finally, we're playing the way we should against them, 17-0. McVay was running down, high-fiving OBJ in the end zone. I was like, man, finally, we came out on them the way we should. And then you guys came back to your credit. But Cooper Kupp is almost unstoppable. The way McVay moves him around, it doesn't matter who's guarding him. Higbee. So I just want us to play our game for our offense to get on track. I want us to show improvement in the run game, but it's hard with all these injuries on the offensive line. I want Allen Robinson to show that he's not washed. I don't think he is. It's just that he's just started out slow, and then Stafford with the people's elbow, they did a cortisone shot, and he was limited to throws, so that didn't help the rapport with the receivers. So as we go along, we'll get the rapport, and then Van Jefferson comes back. Van Jefferson is important, even though he's a third wide receiver. He helps stretch the field. So when we have just like you guys, when we have more of our guys back, we'll be fine. But in the meantime, I want us to show improvement on the offensive line. I want us to score more in the red zone, and Stafford has to cut down the interceptions, but also be able to run. Show that we want to run. And I like how Ben Schronek's fullback right now. So I like that, what we're doing right now. It's a silver lining in disguise.
Yeah, and our defense has looked pretty solid. It's just that offense has been a problem.
Yeah, man.
Like that Denver game was like one of the most boringest game, but it was a low score game.
And that's the thing for your guys' defense. They're all they're team guys. But after a while, you guys are gonna be like, God damn, you guys got to do something, right? You're gonna your leaders. Fred Warner, he doesn't mess around. He'll knock your guys' receivers in practice down. He's gonna be like, man, can't you guys do something? Score for a change, right? You're gonna have some of that stuff, right? They're gonna be fighting in the locker room, so they need to find some offense. They need to, because it's not fair that the defense is balling out, and they have to come right back out, 3 and out, or Jimmy does an interception, or somebody fumbles. That's going to happen eventually. So same thing with us. We're leading our defense. The Falcons came back on us because we started getting stagnant. We got out on them, and then our offense got stagnant again.
Yeah, that's the one game where I'm like thinking, how the hell did you let the Falcons come back a little bit? Like, they were just behind a lot, but then they just came out of nowhere, and then you guys closed the game. It's like you almost pulled the Atlanta Falcon on you.
We were like, remember the Super Bowl? Watch this. Boom. But yeah, it was smoke and mirrors, because I finally met Pale CG. Yeah. I go, oh, this game's over. I got up from my seat. Where are you at, Pale? I didn't get a chance to meet him at the tailgate. I walked over to where he's at, and I look up, and Kupp just fumbled. So they got the fumble, and they scored, and then they did an onside kick. And like, what the hell's going on here, right? So I stayed back. I didn't go down to meet him yet, to make sure we secured the win. And then we secured the win, and I got down there, and I said, hey, what's that? So that's where we met. But I thought that game was over, and then Cooper Kupp fumbled. They knocked it out instead of trying to tackle him, and then they got the onside kick. And then Jalen Ramsey had to turn into old school Jalen Ramsey and close the door on him. But yeah, man, it was crazy. I don't know how they did it. I still, amazing. But God bless their fight, though. They had fight in them. Yeah. They didn't give up.
Yeah, shout out to YTC on what he said about these offensive line issues, man. Even though like Trent Williams is a huge loss for the moment, but I feel like we have guys who actually know how to do the run blocks, like Colt McKivitz. he played the season finale against the Rams. He did pretty solid. Like, I guess you can say he's like another Mike McGlinchey. Just does the dirty work. He doesn't do the pass block as fancy, but we'll see how that goes.
They just need reps. CG, if you can go to Jason Alvarez's comment right there, he says, "What's up, guys? Ramilia, you guys will never win another chip again." Man. Jason, I'm pretty sure you said last year that we weren't going to win it when we signed Von Miller and OBJ. So you were wrong before. You'll probably be wrong again. You never know, but we did it before. We could do it again. We have less need, and Stan Kroenke is our owner. Who knows? In November, when we get OBJ back in the fold, Van Jefferson will be back. Robert Quinn comes in and replaces where Von Miller was, because if the Bears keep losing, we might make a deal for him and put him there. Then you can be like, oh snap!
Oh man,
how do they pay these guys? You're gonna be back on that tip.
Speaking of the Bears, are you saying the Bears are going to suck if they're going to get Robert Quinn?
They're learning, but there was rumors that they wanted to get rid of Quinn because of his contract. If they're willing, we'll give them a couple of second round picks so we can secure maybe get into the Super Bowl again. And as long as they pay some of his salary, we will see. But with less need, that's the thing that I love, CG, and it's not just bragging. It's nice to have a front office that will get us over the hump, like the Dodgers. Whatever we need, we get it, right? And the old school Lakers with Jerry Buss. This front office is key. So whatever our team looks like right now, people can chap, blah, 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 blah. Well, when we get past game 8, game 9, game 11, guess who else is looking at the team? Les Snead. Guess who has the checkbook? Stan Kroenke. Here, man, take care of that. Take care of that for me.
Like, you guys don't go shop at a dollar store. I mean, It's not like, I don't know why we do that. We should try to go all in. Like, all the success ain't gonna
the window's so small. Yeah, exactly right. This window's so small. So we almost did it in 2018. Almost.
If Cup wasn't injured, I think you guys had a good chance.
But it works, CG. The window's so small. Every year you lose coaches. You lose guys that you're developing. You can't pay everybody, but you have to have the right team. And luckily, we finally have our quarterback. He's not perfect, but he can beat you at the end if he has the ball and we have players, weapons that can do what they can do, like Cup. But yeah, so that's why right now I'm not worried so much, because we have Les Snead as our ace in the hole. So that's why I'm not worried about the team right now.
Yeah, you guys just move on from Robert Woods. Do you really miss Robert Woods' production a little bit?
Well, even if let me say it like this: like if we had Allen Robinson running all cylinders, looking great, I still miss Robert Woods. I'm so glad, CG, that we got him and Big Wood a ring before he left. We even did him good by sending him to a contender, right? Because we love Robert Woods. We hated to lose that guy. We got a little guy that's a little bigger. Possibly able to break out, a little taller, younger. So that's why we did that, a business move. And then Big Wit, Big Wit's who he is, a wonderful guy, and we got him a ring. So I'm so happy. But I miss Robert Woods all the time, man. Even if Allen Robinson was going great, you always miss a Robert Woods, man. He's such a great dude.
Yeah,
and good player.
Allen Robinson is more like your possession receiver. He'll jump the contested passes when it's necessary. Like that's who we're developing. We're developing somebody like Juwan Jennings, like who is a dollar store version of Allen Robinson, man. He's got that size. He's got that feisty, man. He just wants to knock somebody out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Robert Woods was a key loss to you guys, but I think as soon as Van Jefferson comes back, I think that's what you're hoping for Van Jefferson to be, is exactly what Robert Woods was doing for y'all.
And we have, who knows what's going to happen, right? The guys have to play, right? So we have a guy named Lance McCutcheon, 6'3", undrafted free agent, who we think is the steal in the draft or undrafted free agents. The guy is a beast. The guy has strong hands. He can go up and get the ball. We haven't unleashed him yet. He was the guy that was the phenom in preseason. That's that guy. And then we have Jacob Harris, who is a hybrid, a tight end wide receiver. He hasn't got on the field and done what we hope for. And then we still have Tutu Atwell, who I don't know what's wrong with him. So hopefully these guys we have weapons that are there, but we haven't used them. So there's a lot of stuff that we need. And you guys are missing CG Gray, stretch the field. Is that right? Is that a name, your wide receiver?
Well, you mean Danny Gray?
Danny Gray, sorry.
No, he
Danny
hasn't.
Gray.
He hasn't done much of a snap yet. We haven't used him
Yeah,
yet. So,
yeah. So
but he's got
and then
speed.
he's got a hip problem, and but yeah. So when we all get our guys back, then we'll know what the teams are. Even let's say we were to beat you guys, I'd be happy. But it's just one win. You guys are not nearly what you're going to be. Let's say you guys beat us. Well, we look like crap right now. This is not like the team that we're going to be.
But just like that first week you guys played us that week last year, and it was like that was pretty much a reasonable excuse, but we came in that game and beat you.
Yeah, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. If we play let me just tell you, if I was a coach, I'd be throwing shit. Right? I'd be like, what the heck? This is the Niners. Do you guys not understand what this means? I don't care if you're down to the third stringers. There better be somebody balling out there, right? And so, but sometimes, you get a team and they smell blood, and the Niners did, and to their credit, they did what they're supposed to. We came out weak. You guys came out and did what you're supposed to do, and that's what that shows the mentality you guys had. And so I wouldn't have respected you if you let us beat you guys with all those guys down. Right. So Robert Woods was hurt. We had to change our whole game plan. OBJ didn't know nothing about our game plan. Von Miller was not Von Miller. He was hurt more than we thought. And so we were in our feelings a little bit because we're like, oh man, really? We're going to be the whole season without Robert Woods? But still, there's no excuses. You play a rival, you get your butt ready and get up and go. So but it is what it is. Yeah,
it was tough, but you're still having those thoughts of Odell Beckham coming back. You still think it's set in stones for y'all?
Well, me and Peo think there's a gentleman's agreement that when he's ready, we just have to talk about what the numbers are going to be, because he loves being in LA. The guy crashed McVay's wedding. Him and Cooper Kupp were, I don't know if you saw the video that I posted. It was a viral video. They were FaceTiming each other with Cooper Kupp, and they keep in contact. He was talking about December 13th, and I'll see you December 13th or something. And he was talking about Cooper Kupp should get 2,000 yards this year, stuff like that. And so we're looking for him to come back. The Rams even left his locker at the training facility with his nameplate still there. All signs point to him coming back. There's other teams that can get his services, but he wants to be in Los Angeles. The Rams, SoFi Stadium is like the Showtime Lakers. When you go to Inglewood, you see Jack Nicholson, you see all the guys on the sidelines. It's not just a game, it's a happening. Celebrities go to SoFi Stadium to be seen, to watch the game, but it's like a happening in Los Angeles. So it's amazing what we've built in Los Angeles. Say what you want about the fans or whatever, but SoFi Stadium is beginning to be like the Inglewood Forum with the Showtime Lakers. All the celebrities come out.
Oh yeah, the Lakers, man.
It's a who's who, right? Dr. Dre's there. Actors
Snoop
are there. Snoop's always there, but Magic Johnson has season tickets. It's a happening. As long as we keep winning and as long as we have an exciting team. But right now we don't. But that's going to happen again. So, but yeah, man, it's gonna. I don't have a feel for this game. I really think that even when you guys had Trey, that we were going to sweep you guys. That's what I was thinking, because we learned how to play you guys better by putting everybody in the box, not letting you guys run, not letting you guys get off, make Jimmy beat us. We were going to try the same thing with Trey Lance. We were going to give him looks that he didn't see before, make him make mistakes. Bobby Wagner was going to spy him and hit him hard once he went through the holes to run. We had a plan going, and now we're back to the old stuff, and that's not what that means. Is Bobby Wagner is going to watch the middle. Ernest Jones is going to watch the other side. We're going to get up and press Kittle and Ayuk at the line of scrimmage. We're going to stop you guys from running or hinder you guys from running. You never really stop, but now with the offensive line hindered, it may be a little easier to stop the run because you guys haven't been able to run against the other team. So we'll see, though. But that's the game plan. We're going to make Jimmy beat us.
That's what all opposing teams want to do, is make Jimmy beat them. And it hasn't happened, but that's what I want to see out of Jimmy. Is Jimmy just finally do something, man? Like, you can't rely on the running game, this defense, to carry for so long. This defense can do so much until the fourth quarter when you're tired, bro. This has got to be Jimmy's opportunity to step up, man. Like, play like that Saints game, man. That Saints game, that Cardinals game. One of those moments, bro. Come on, Jimmy.
And I really like Hufanga. I like Drake Jackson, my USC brothers. Fight on, as my guy Tommy Huxley says. You guys got some players, man, and that's why I always harp on Kyle Shanahan. What does this guy need to win? I mean, geez, do you need like the 85 Bear defense? I mean, come on now. I mean, geez, he's got to win now. I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys have a loaded roster now. Forget about, when Kyle came, we were trash, right? He built this roster, him and John Lynch. Okay, now win. You guys have been injured, but you bring guys in to get injured. You sign guys to get injured. Jimmy G's still here. Mr. Brittle himself. You kept him. You passed on Tom Brady. You passed on Matthew Stafford. You're a little slow on the trigger. You weren't even looking at Mahomes, and a lot of people missed on Mahomes. You brought in Beathard, and you had Mullins, and geez, dude, right? So
how many running backs do we need to get?
Yeah,
seriously,
I mean,
it's like they come off the street.
Yes, exactly. So I understand your frustration, man, because you guys are like right there, man. And and as a Ram fan, I'm glad.
Oh, you're glad, but look how many running backs.
Geez,
look at how many running backs we got right now, bro.
Yeah,
we're already like on to like almost our 6 or 7 running
That's
backs.
Crazy. Why?
Dude, like, okay, Elijah's out, Ty Davis Price is out, and then, dude, it just keeps adding up a little here and there. So we got Marlon Mack off the practice squad, which I don't know why he's still even in the lead with the ACL tear, but he's coming back. And then we just got Tevin Coleman.
And I hate that for you guys because injuries suck, man. I'm telling you that injuries suck. You guys deserve better. You guys are my rival, and I don't like the Niners, but man, there's nothing like injuries, man. You can't overcome injuries sometimes. You get if Cooper Kupp went down, like in the Super Bowl 2018, we didn't have him. That's a huge loss. You can't replace that. You guys have key guys. You need guys to come in and make plays. Look at Nick Scott. Nick Scott was a running back, the guy that laid the hit on Debo. But besides that, he's physical. Guys are playing positions that they haven't played before, but they learn, they step up. But every year we both lose guys. The contracts are up and we're not going to pay them. We lose coaches. It takes time, but man, injuries suck, man. Sometimes you can't overcome them. And
that's true.
It sucks, dude.
Yeah, and we got Mr. Seahawks killer Dre Greenlaw with a 2-year contract extension. So
yeah,
he ain't going nowhere. He's going to own Seattle for a while.
I don't know what they're doing, man. Seattle Seahawks.
They're still riding with the Geno Smith train. They're still thinking that there's little hope right there. My boy Squabble's on that little Kool-Aid now.
I mean, okay. Let me ask you this, CG, because you don't have a skin in the game. Do you think that Wilson is washed? He's not Wilson from before, but is he washed?
The passion's not there. Like, you can tell he doesn't have it in him.
He loves Seattle. He hates it. He loved Seattle. He didn't want to leave. Right?
It's because of Pete Carroll's ego.
Why did they just get rid of the 91-year-old Pete Carroll, who's aging every day? God bless him. He's got the energy of a 50-year-old. Get rid of him. Sean Payton.
Come here.
Russell Wilson's back in the fold. We're going to sign you to 3 years. We're going to do it contract friendly. The last year, we're going to give you a huge bonus, but we're going to win. We're going to get you some offensive guys, offensive line, and we're going to give it one more run. We have 3 years to win another Super Bowl. That's how I would have did it. But forget them. I'm glad they don't take my advice. But why is Pete Carroll there to rebuild? This old guy, will he even make it?
He's old enough to be Ric Flair.
That's what I'm saying. So, woo! Right? So, I mean, I don't know, man. I love Pete Carroll. He was a USC coach. He left us in shambles, but he did win. I don't know why they picked Russell Wilson. They picked him over Russell Wilson. The greatest quarterback in Seahawks history, and they picked the guy who blew the Super Bowl. Should have gave it to my guy Marshawn Lynch. But anyway, but that's their problem.
Yeah. Well, speaking of all the days of your guys' quarterback, I mean, doesn't Jimmy Garoppolo resemble more of Mark Bolger a little bit? Both those guys were number 10. They couldn't stay healthy.
Mark Huge Bolger. Man, I tell you. Okay, so Mark, there's very similar. That's funny that you say that. I call him Mark Hughes Bolger.
Yeah, but they were number 10. They were number 10. They look the same way.
He's fool's gold. So Mark Bolger threw a lot of. He was a great average quarterback. He was Kirk Cousins. He was
before there was Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Yes, he was Kirk Cousins because he looked like Joe Montana with a strong arm. When Warren, and I'm saying this because I'm going to get to my point. he looked like Joe Montana with the strong arm, right? Made all the reads, made all the throws, was kind of semi mobile. When Kurt Warner messed up his hand, he was amazing. We had to make a tough choice. A guy injured, which Mike Martz screwed that up. Mike Martz, he should have retired a Ram. We picked Bolger, the young guy, over Kurt Warner, and we got screwed. That's what happened. And so, he does remind me, now that you say that, that's funny how Jimmy Garoppolo, because there was a Panthers playoff game that we were going to either playoff game or to get to the playoffs. And we decided not to go for a first down because Mark Bolger was our quarterback. We didn't trust him. So there you go. But he looked amazing. Well, in that run, when we had the greatest show on turf, and to his credit too, we had better players then, but he looked amazing. You can see why he might have went that way, but you don't get rid of a Kurt Warner. Really? You don't get rid of a Kurt Warner.
But to get a production out of Mark Bolger, I know that it wasn't the same with Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner probably had at least 5 to 6 more years in him. And the Rams they moved on to
when he went out, CG, and the 2000 Rams were the greatest Ram team ever assembled, because at that point Kurt Warner was looking at 6,500 yards passing and like 50 some touchdowns, but he got hurt. He was going to collapse all the records, and then we got to the playoff to get the wild card because we had our injuries, we had problems, and Akeem dropped the ball. It could have been the Rams and Ravens in that Super Bowl. That would have been an amazing Super Bowl, man.
You know what I heard. You know what I heard could have happened in the time you guys were in the Super Bowl. I heard there was talk. I heard there was a possibility you guys would have played the Raiders in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for that tuck rule. I don't know.
They saved a lot of lives by doing that, because imagine in Los Angeles, you would have had the Raiders and Rams in the Super Bowl, and of course the Rams would have whipped that ass.
You think they're gonna whip them?
The greatest show on turf would have whipped that worse than the Bucks would have. And then imagine all the Raider fans, Raider, the reason why they wear that patch is because the Rams gave them that black eye, and as they left Los Angeles and went back to Oakland. But yeah, that was a BS tuck rule. Tom Brady, the NFL teacher's pet. That was, you got snow and wind, and they're going to call, his arm is going forward. Bull, yes, right? That was the Raiders' ball. That should have been the Raiders and Rams in the Super Bowl. That even then they were coddling this guy, the face of the league. And but yeah, man, that was not that tuck rule was BS, man. How are you going to call that? That's crazy.
It was one of the weirdest kind of thing. Like, it wasn't even established then, and then
and it makes you wonder, CG, because look at the Jalen Ramsey play. They grabbed his face mask, turned his head around. He went down. The Bengals guy, was it T. Higgins, that got the touchdown?
Yeah, T. Higgins.
Don't they review every scoring play in New York?
Yeah,
How do you not recall that touchdown away? They gave it to him. So sometimes it makes you wonder how the league does stuff, because there's no way. You could be half blind, as long as you can make out the shapes. You can see that the guy grabbed his face mask. It was an illegal face mask that didn't get called, and they gave him the touchdown. Still, imagine if we would have lost the Super. I would have been bitter, man. Imagine if we would have lost because of that touchdown.
Yeah, that would have been like the weird part about it.
And you guys with Kittle, they called that BS push off call against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and that was a dumb call. It didn't seem like there was no need to call that
and the Seahawks with the Steelers. There was a couple of plays in the Steelers.
Oh yeah, with Darrell Jackson getting called that play, which I thought was stupid. But it's a lot of dumb rules. And then Baltimore Super Bowl was fiasco, man. Like, it was one of the dumbest penalties calls I've ever seen.
Well, look at us. Like, you can't call when you lose, right? There's nothing you can do. It doesn't do any good to complain. When we played the Patriots, they were tackling Marshall Faulk before he even got the ball. They were grabbing it. We would go right through the field, go right through them, get to the red zone or right into the 25-yard line. And they started holding us and no calls. If this was primetime 49ers with Jerry Rice and John Taylor, I guarantee you they would have called those holding calls, because that stopped us from scoring. So we ended up losing that Super Bowl, because if we would have played them 10 times, Tom Brady wasn't the real Tom Brady now. Then we would have beat him 9 times out of 10. They didn't give us any calls in that Super Bowl. We had to come back. We had to kick field goals. But that's just crazy. So sometimes it makes you wonder what the hell the NFL is doing, man. Yeah. Because that Kittle play was BS. You guys, that they shouldn't have called that. you hold the whistle for that. They gather. Really, you want to call that? No. All right, go ahead. Go back. We're not. We're picking up the flag.
It's stupid. And then
That's what I would have did.
And then the holdings against Bosa too, man. They letting Bosa get held up and choked a little bit. So
like Donald, and just like Shaq, they're always grabbing Donald, especially when we play the Packers. You wonder why we don't beat them. They don't call any holding against them. Donald's just about to get in there, and you see his shoulder pads be out of his thing. There's no call. Touchdown, Devontae Adams. What the hell?
They don't even call penalties for that. And it's
we
kind
all
of a
think,
disadvantage.
Yeah, we all think that our teams are all the only ones, right? But I've seen a couple of plays that could have made a huge difference when we played the Packers, and they don't call it. So the last time we beat the Packers was in LA.
Man. I mean, they're on Rodgers' nuts all day, man. They're trying to get this.
And you guys have his number, so that's amazing.
Dude, it's like we're that the Kryptonites, man. We just come.
How do you? I mean, how do you guys can't beat Russell Wilson, right? But you can beat the
Rodgers. I know
Rodgers.
hey, the Bears wish they can do that.
Yeah, it's amazing the way that works, man.
I mean, Rodgers has you know what really kind of makes me laugh to this day is Rodgers says that we're going to regret it for the next 15 years. How does that feel, Rodgers? I guess you have yet to make us pay for that. Maybe that one Super Bowl, maybe we would have liked to have, but I don't think we've ever regretted it since.
I think because of Rodgers, they should stop the voting until the end of the season to see who's going to win MVP, because the guy doesn't put the ball in harm's way on purpose. He has all these great stats. He plays in a weak division, cashes in the MVP trophy, and then looks like crap in the playoffs. He looks like Jared Goff towards the end of his Rams career in the playoffs. They should wait till the end of the season, and they should call that the Aaron Rodgers rule. And if there's two guys that are close, and give the MVP to Cooper Kupp instead of this guy, because Cooper Kupp helped win the Super Bowl. Now, if you had a choice, CG, between MVP of the league and Cooper Kupp was in the running with Aaron Rodgers, knowing that he won the Super Bowl MVP on Cooper Kupp, who would you pick, Aaron Rodgers or Cooper Kupp?
I mean, it's rare, wide receivers don't get much of the MVP recognition. It's like if Cooper Kupp wins it, it's like something that you want to see different in today's football. Like having Cooper Kupp is like having a guy of his caliber that set the records, kind of like how Jerry Rice did it, but in a different era. So Go ahead. Yeah, it's amazing because this guy blocks. He said, we're so happy that we don't have guys that are divas. They just want to get better. They block. They do all the dirty work. We're just lucky, man. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he has all those great stats in the regular season. And what does that get him? Last 10 years, he's out. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's just one of those years, man. But speaking of this, man, I know this is going to be, we probably got 2 more questions to go before we end this show. But
okay,
who's that one X factor from the Rams that's very unknown that you want to see step up this game against the Niners? And then we'll go on to score predictions, and then we'll end it from here.
There's 2 guys. On offense, Ben Schroenick, of course, only because he helps. It sucks that we lost another offensive guy to concussion, but he blasts the hole and then he's able to go out and catch the ball. So you don't know if we're running or he's going to block you or if he's going to chip you or he's going to act like he's going to block you, run past you, and you're wide open, right? There's a key guy in the running game and also a low-key weapon, right? There we go. Because he can't get open himself. He drops the ball, but when he's in his physical mode, he kind of gets stoked and he starts catching balls. So I like how McVay went into his bags. On defense, there's a young guy, number 6, named Darian Kendrick. He's a Jalen Ramsey fan. He patterns his game after Jalen Ramsey. He's back from concussion protocol. He's a dog. The other guy's Jacoby Durant, but he's hurt. If he can play really good in this game, and Jalen Ramsey plays old school Jalen Ramsey, but Darian Kendrick, if he can help out on guys like Ayuk or whoever you guys are using, scheming, that'll help us big time because we're missing Troy Hill, who was supposed to help us on the other side of Jalen Ramsey. We're missing Jacoby Durant, missing a bunch of guys like you guys, but Darian Kendrick and Ben Schroenick will be my 2 guys.
Oh, yeah.
That I think are key.
Those are like the guys under the radar that you're talking about, especially Skronik, I've heard you said that he knocked out JJ Watt and caught the pass, which I've checked out the play. That's kind of like it's impressive, I must say. It's an unheralded player that's trying to make a name for himself, and
yeah, and he's physical. I didn't know that he was physical in Notre Dame. I guess they would have him block and do stuff. He's a good special teams player. I was mad at him. He was on my ass list because the championship game he dropped a ball against you guys in the end zone, and he caused the interception in the Super Bowl. But now he's back in my good graces because he's being productive. McVay found somewhere for him. And also keep an eye on Akers. Akers started to catch on, and he looks like the old Cam Akers, little flashes of the explosive Cam Akers. But we keep saying that for a year now. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. That run defense, that Niners run defense is no joke, man.
Because I was looking at some plays in the NFC Championship game, and when you get a chance, if you get a chance to look at some of the plays, he was able to do some flashes, get 8, 10, 12 yards against you guys. And hopefully if he can do that with, and just keep you guys honest. And then with Ben Schroenick, keeping you guys, the Niners with their fast linebackers like to over pursue. And so here's Ben Schroenick over here, but then Henderson will go that way.
Yeah.
They're looking at the lead blocker because we keep running that way. They're going over here, and then he's that way. And then we have one of our guys pulling and knocking the guy inside, and we get around the corner. So I love how McVay's going into his bag.
Well, somebody to think of in that perspective. But as far as like a team in general that I would want to expect from the Niners as that underdog that nobody's talking about. So on offense, this may sound unheralded, underrated. I want to see Jeff Wilson have one of his best games by far. Like if he can get this running game going and he's on fire, I don't know if the Rams have any answers. If that would be our X factor is if we can have Jeff Wilson play his best game. And if we figure out a way to manage the clock, I think this is going to be one of those games. But on defense, this one guy under the radar that nobody's even talking about. Diamado Lenore, man, that guy's going to have his hands full on
that's your guy, right? That's your guy.
Yeah, Lenore.
Yeah,
but he's another he's a nickel, but he's probably going to have to cover a little bit on Cup a little bit
because McVay moves them all over. Those are good picks.
Especially the limit, like Cooper Kupp's going to get his yards. You just have to limit them if you could.
Yeah. And those are good picks, but this game is so weird.
It's going to be tough, man.
We have so many guys on both sides hurt.
Juwan Jennings, I would throw him out there too, but I got to throw Jeff Wilson. Man.
Watch it be 9-6 or something like that. And you're like,
it's going to be an ugly game, bro. We might as well turn off the TV.
Because it's so early. I know people are saying, "Oh, you guys have to win," but no, it's early. We don't want to lose to each other, though. That's the thing,
We want to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah. So but we. I mean, this is not anywhere near the teams we're going to have, but it is what it is, and amazing that these two teams are the best teams in the division right now, and the only one, really, I think the only one that the Cardinals are missing is one guy, and D
Hopkins,
and they're not even talked about as nobody's worried about them right now, which is funny. But but I'm going to ask you this, CG. I've asked everyone that I collaborated with this week, Wayne Breezy, my guy, John Jay, and Grant Cohn. But no, I didn't ask him though. I just
what about Rumbo?
I want to get Rumbo on my show, but that would be funny. But I'm hoping to have Niner Sickness 2 Sunday. But who is your Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore?
For them, I know there's too many. Like on ours, we have, Marshall Faulk, Eric Dickerson. There's too many. Roman Gabriel. 4 Mount Rushmore players, and then 2 alternates. Who would that be? Niners Mount Rushmore.
So you're talking about like 6 total, just the 2 alternates, right?
4 that's going to be on the hilltop, and then the 2 alternates that you have to that they're alternate. That didn't quite make it.
Okay, easy for me is Joe Montana. That's got to be the top of the Mount Rushmore. This guy won us 4 Super Bowls. This guy was the face of this franchise for the 80s and the decades. So he was one of the guys that set the standard. This one might not get the most talk about. If it wasn't for this guy with the catch, Dwight Clark would have to get some recognition, respect. But I think he would be on the honorable mention. So he would be my honorable mention. So Jerry Rice is the next one. Then Ronnie Lott, the force, the guy that intimidator. Yeah, Essie's. I mean, he was an intimidator. And then let's see for the another defender. the guy was our heart and soul of our defense for decades and never played for no other squad. I gotta say, Brian Young is a. Oh wait, nah, I'll put Steve Young.
Steve Young, okay.
It's hard. So Brian Young would be my honorable mention.
Okay, so you have the 4 Mount Rushmores is Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. Who was
Ronnie
the other
Lott.
one?
Ronnie
Lott
and
and Steve Young. And then so the 2 alternates. Who's going to be the alternate?
Honorable
mention.
Dwight Clark, because he was more important to the Niners, and then you have Brian Young, who was part of this franchise for the entire career, and he was the forcer for us.
And that's awesome. And John Jay said a pretty good comment. He was the one that said, "Well, I never saw Joe Montana in person, on TV." So he picked other guys, but they would have made his Mount Rushmore, but he picked other guys. Brian Young, I think, was one of them too. I think was, but yeah, that's fine because those guys for sure. I saw those guys play, and they were the real deal, man. Those guys were crazy, and that was when football was football, man. None of this protecting Tom Brady wouldn't last until the age that he is now if he was playing back then.
Yeah, and if we're going by the players I've witnessed throughout my career, T.O. would be on the top of my list for sure, man.
Yeah, I think he picked T.O. Yep, I think he did.
So are we going by the players I've witnessed, or we're going by any time?
No, that's good. You're just your that was just what he did. But no, this is fine. That was just what he did. But yeah, there's too many players. The Rams and Niners have too many amazing players over the years, and but just a Mount Rushmore. I really think. Do you guys have Joe Montana statue at Levi Stadium, right? Yeah. Jerry Rice there too?
I believe so. And then we have a Dwight Clark somewhere.
No defensive guys.
I think we have him in the museum or something.
Oh, okay. I like that because I told Kevin Demoff, the Rams COO, that we need a Fearsome Foursome statue, even though they didn't play there, and we need a Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce statue.
Can we get a John Taylor statue at that SoFi Stadium?
John, I asked I think it was John Jay about how come nobody says John Taylor, because he was against us. He was amazing, but of course he's no Rice, but he was an amazing duo.
He was a good compliment.
Batman and Robin, and he was a pain in our ass. I'll tell you that. But yeah, that's an amazing player. That guy.
Yeah, what's up, Noah? What's up? We were mentioning your Seahawks a little earlier, man.
Seahawk fan. God bless the Seahawks.
Okay, so as far as score, what were you gonna say about your Mount Rushmore? So if you had to go by your Rams Mount Rushmore,
like you, there's too many on there, but I'd have to put Kurt Warner on there because he won the Super Bowl. Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk. I didn't watch these guys play, so it's hard for me, like John Jay was saying, but I'll put AD, Aaron Donald, and then honorable mention, Merlin Olsen, 14 straight Pro Bowls, Deacon Jones. There's so many, but yeah, both of us, man, you need 5-10 mountains.
Yeah, I need mountains, but I guess if we're going by the era of what we witnessed, then I would just have a different list. But I guess
that's just whatever you feel is fine. Because for me, Kurt Warner, because he won the Super Bowl. We have NFL championships and the great story. And believe this too, things were meant to be, or things were dumb luck. They left Kurt Warner in '98 unprotected. The Jags and the what was the other team? The expansion team.
Oh, the Panthers.
The Panthers. They could have got him. He was unprotected. Because remember, we got Trent Green, and then he got hurt, and then Kurt Warner steps in, and the rest is history. So we left him unprotected. We liked him, but we had our sights set on Trent Green. So amazing how things work. The great ram in the sky. And now they sent us Matthew Stafford. So, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, that's a great list you have. You can't go wrong with that list. I like to ask that because you got to give flowers to the past guys. And, but yeah, man, but like with you guys, when you guys had Eddie DeBarlo, and you guys had, what's his name? Carmen Policy. That's why we feel confident. You guys were always
John McVay too.
Yeah. John McVay, Sean's grandfather. You guys with them, would get a Deion Sanders to get you over the hump. You guys would get guys that you needed. Same thing with us. So that's why we're like, we're fine right now. Whatever we need, we trust that these guys will get what we need. So, but I'm looking forward to Monday, man. I hope nobody else gets hurt. I hope it's a good game. I hope that we win. I really think that we should win because you guys had your trouble with the Broncos and Seahawks, and we have a better team even though we're not playing good. But that goes out the window. That goes out the window when you play rivalry. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be exciting, man.
Yeah.
Where are you going to watch it? Where are you going to watch it?
I'm going to watch it at my house right here.
Okay.
I guess to answer one more question for Noah, I would say Tyler Lockett would be the one guy that scares me in Seattle because he's like the most consistent receiver. DK doesn't really scare me as much. He's like that big trick pony receiver. He got speed. You got to respect it. But Tyler Lockett can give you those 10-plus catches or something, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that
he's a pain in the neck.
Yeah, that's why I would pick Lockett. Who would you pick if you had to choose it? Like
Lockett too, a lot. But now with that they don't have Russell Wilson, it doesn't matter.
But Lockett
don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah, but Lockett, I did like Lockett. Jalen Ramsey, there's just certain guys you play good against. Jalen Ramsey usually locks down Metcalf. But that's just the style. He's a bigger guy, so he can't move as fast. Lockett's a guy that can get behind the defense, and he's a pain in the butt. You know, that's their Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it is. Definitely appreciate it, man. Let's just do let's do the prediction score, and then we'll end it from here. Then you can tell people where they can find you. So
okay.
As far as my prediction, this is going to be probably the most watchable game in Monday Night Football. It's not going to be like last year. I think it's going to be very close. So it's going to come down to the nail biter, and Robbie Gould's going to kick the game-winning field goal, and the Niners win 24-21. And Aaron Donald throws his helmet.
There you go. I think it's going to be, well, I'm going to say it this way. We're so due on offense. Allen Robinson has been a zombie. If he gets going, Stafford gets the ball out, we can do some running. We can keep you guys honest. Ben Schroenick does what he does. We might be able to get out to a lead. And then Jimmy's one-dimensional. They have to run. I mean, they have to throw. Then it can get a little ugly. Only because we have Cooper Kupp and Stafford. If it's a struggle, a slugfest, which I think it will be, I can see, like you're saying, I can see us winning 24-17, something like that. Maybe AD will get a sack and a fumble. Maybe Ramsey will get a pick deep in your territory. It's going to be amazing. Bobby Wagner maybe get a sack fumble, coming in behind Donald. I'm interested to see where Bobby Wagner. I'm sure that Bobby Wagner is very confident coming in with the Rams with Jalen Ramsey behind him and Aaron Donald in front of him. And so we'll see what happens, man. But it's a weird game. But I really think that we're going to win. I think it's going to be, I'll say 24-17 Rams.
All right, man. We'll see about it, man. Let the best team win. Maybe like the next day we could do a little post game recap, man. I definitely appreciate.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Always, man. I appreciate you, man. I love you, my brother. You're keep your head up, keep grinding, and you're like me. You tell it like it is. You love your Niners, and if your guys don't do what they're supposed to, you let them have it. Same thing with me, man. People say you're a homer. Well, no. Ask Ben Schroenick, right, in the championship game. We still won, but I had and ask Tutu Atwell. You should see the picture that I have. He looks like a mugshot. The picture they use for poor Tutu Atwell on the Rams website. I put that up. Can this guy finally do something? So no, if you're not doing what you're supposed to, I let you have it too. So God bless you, man. It's been a pleasure. The time has flown by, and thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll do this more often for sure.
Yeah, more often, man. Maybe down the road in the near future, maybe we'll link up at a game one day, man.
Nah, that'd be awesome, man. And props to my guy, Grandizer 12. He's an honorary member of the Ramilia. He's a big Dolphin fan. And God bless Tua. I hope he gets back.
Tua, yeah.
And God bless his Dolphins for McDaniels taking away Kyle Shanahan's playbook and taking it with him to Miami. So hopefully they'll struggle more. But yeah, man, thank you. Appreciate it. It's a pleasure, brother. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Anytime. And as always, CG Ruthless and the Ramilia Sports Report is out, and we'll see you next time.
Ramulators, mount up.